So, you're thinking about buying a home in Texas. That's awesome. It's one of the biggest, most exciting adventures you'll ever go on. But let's be real, it can also feel kind of complicated. Think of this as your personal map for that quest. All right, let's dive in. We get it. While buying a home is super exciting, it can also feel like this huge, tangled web of contracts, negotiations, and a whole new vocabulary you have to learn on the fly. And if you're sitting there feeling a little overwhelmed by it all, you are definitely not alone. That's a totally normal way to feel. But stick with me because our goal today is to slice right through that confusion and give you the confidence you need to make this happen. Here's the game plan. We're going to start by finding you a guide for this journey. That's your buyer's agent. Then, we'll talk about the common pitfalls to avoid, how to handle the official offer and contract, and finally, how to cross the finish line and close on your new home. You know, every epic quest needs a wise guide, right? Well, in the world of real estate, that guide is your buyer's agent. And trust me, having one is absolutely crucial, especially if this is your first time. So, what exactly is a buyer's agent? It's pretty simple. They're a licensed pro whose job is to work for you, the buyer, and only you. The seller has an agent looking out for them, and your buyer's agent is your champion in your corner, fighting for your best interests. And that brings us to this really important legal term, fiduciary duty. This isn't just a nice idea, it's the law. It means your agent is legally bound to put your financial interests above everyone else's, even their own. That is some serious protection to have on your side. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from Agent Breeden Brown really nails it. They aren't just there to unlock doors. They're your advocate, your negotiator, and your partner through this whole shebang. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, they're going to give you the inside scoop on the local market. They might even find you a place before it officially goes on sale. They handle all the tough negotiations to get you the best price. And they basically streamline the chaos, making sure your interests are protected every single step of the way. Okay, so you've got your guide. Now let's talk about the next big thing, mistakes to avoid. Think of this as us packing your backpack for the journey and learning how to spot the traps on the path ahead. And believe me, the biggest ones are almost always about money. What's this number all about? 2 to 5%. This, my friends, is the typical range for closing costs. It's a percentage of the home's final sale price, and it's probably the number one thing first-time buyers forget to budget for. I mean, on a $300,000 house, that's an extra $6,000 to $15,000 you need to have ready. That's not chump change. So what are you even paying for? It's a whole bunch of stuff. Fees for the appraisal, the inspection, title insurance, and fees your lender charges just to create the loan. Now here's a little pro tip. Some of these costs, like taxes, are set in stone. But others, like those loan origination fees, you can sometimes negotiate those with your lender. It never ever hurts to ask. Okay, another massive mistake. Going house shopping without getting pre-approved for a mortgage first. Without that piece of paper, you're basically just window shopping. I actually saw a couple lose their absolute dream home because while they were scrambling to get their financing in order, another buyer swooped in with their pre-approval letter and got the house. With pre-approval, you know exactly what you can spend and sellers take you seriously. And finally, please remember this. The sticker price is just the beginning. The true cost of owning a home includes all the ongoing stuff, like property taxes, which can be pretty hefty here in Texas, plus insurance, maybe some HOA fees, and just budgeting for things that will inevitably break. You don't want to end up house poor, where your amazing new home feels more like a financial burden. All right, you've got your agent, you've got your finances sorted. Now it's time for the main event, making an offer and understanding the Texas sales contract. This is where things get real. If you only learn one term from this whole thing, please let it be this one, the effective date. This is the moment the deal becomes official, when the very last person signs on the dotted line and tells the other side, it's a deal. You got to think of this as day zero. Every single deadline in that contract starts ticking from this one date. And counting those deadlines is actually pretty simple. The effective date is day zero. The very next day is day one, and you just keep counting calendar days from there until you hit your deadline. It's easy, but man, getting it wrong can cause some serious problems. It's also really important to know what you're actually getting. The contract has a specific definition for property. It's not just the house and the land. It also includes improvements like a garage and even accessories. Things like the window AC units or the garage door openers are typically included unless the contract specifically says they aren't. Now, let's talk about your secret weapon. For a small fee, usually a couple $100, you can buy what's called the termination option. This gives you the unrestricted right to back out of the contract for any reason at all during a negotiated period. You found a better house? You can back out. You just got a weird vibe? You can back out. It's incredibly powerful. But this superpower doesn't last forever. It has a very, very strict deadline. So the big question is, when exactly does it run out? And here's the answer. 5 p.m. local time. This is huge. Almost every other deadline in the contract expires at the end of the day at 11:59 p.m., but not this one. If you miss that 5 o'clock cutoff on the last day, your right to walk away for any reason just poof, it vanishes. Okay, we've navigated the tricky parts of the contract and we are officially on the home stretch. Let's talk about the final leg of this journey, closing on your new home, and finally getting those keys in your hand. So here's your final to-do list. Step 1. Use that option period we just talked about to get a really thorough home inspection. This is your chance to find out if there are any hidden problems. Step 2, you've got to get your homeowner's insurance lined up because your lender's going to demand it. And finally, step 3, you go to the closing, sign a mountain of paperwork, and just like that, the home is yours. So there you have it. We've talked about the allies you need, the traps to look out for, and the path you need to follow. You officially have the map to navigate the Texas home buying process. The only question left is, are you ready to start your quest?